Good morning and welcome to our webinar on email marketing trends with a specific focus on small business needs. I'm your moderator and organizer, Renee Goodnow from the Small Business Development Center in New York. A little bit about the New York SBDC. We are a network of 22 campus-based centers and outreach offices across New York State. We provide free business advising and free and low-cost business training in person and online. Our services are made possible by the U.S. Small Business Administration, aka the S.B.A., the state of New York, and our host campuses. And with that, I will turn controls over to Erik Bunaes, who is our panelist today.
Well, I have been doing digital marketing since 1995. And in 2005, we started our own firm, and we relocated to the Albany area in 2011. And we're partners with a number of technology companies, including Constant Contact, and that's how we keep up with the latest and greatest of email and digital marketing. And so we do this stuff every day. We do a lot of research as well, so we really see what is happening, and so we have a pretty good feel for what's going on, and we're constantly trained by companies like Constant Contact and some others. So, our goal today is to sort of understand what is working well in the world of email marketing and digital marketing. And before we get any further, I just want to say that we will send these slides to you. If you do have any questions, please type them in, and we'll address those as we're going here, so we can have a conversation and hopefully address any of your questions as we go. So before we get to sort of the agenda and get into it, here's a couple of really interesting statistics that I wanted to share with you. So, we really pay attention to data. And so even in this world, right, that we live in of, privacy concerns, and we're hearing a lot about hacking and things like that, the vast majority, 79% of consumers, are still willing to share their data for relevant content. So, and this is from Salesforce, their 2019 State of Marketing report. And so, this says that, consumers, despite their fears here, but they want to get information that is relevant to them. And they're willing to share some information with you to be able to make that happen. So we want to understand how are the best ways for us to use data and to speak directly to our customers and give them what they want. So the other one is 88% of people, almost 9 out of 10 people, share data to receive personalized offers. Again, people are looking for some things that are unique to them. Not all people are the same, and we as business owners or marketers, or however we want to name ourselves, we need to understand that. And the opposite side of these two statistics is that if you send generic information to everyone via mass emails or things like that, you're not going to be successful today in this competitive world, especially online. So marketing automation tool usage is expected to grow by about 95% in the next 2 years. So using automation, which has many benefits, which we'll talk about today, will this usage of marketing automation is expected to grow very rapidly. And again, that can help us target our very specific customers with exactly what they want. So this is interesting. By this year or next year, customers will manage 85% of their relationship with a company without interacting with them, without interacting with a human. So if you think about that, and this goes for nonprofit organizations as well as for-profit companies and even other things, government entities and healthcare, et cetera. But think about it today, you know, like with your bank, you probably don't necessarily talk to a person that much. You go to the ATM, you can deposit money at the ATM, you can get to your computer, your account spot with, you know, through the internet, through online banking, and you know, you may get some mail from them still, perhaps, but you don't generally speak to a person. Even when you call, much of the phone interaction is actually with a computer through artificial intelligence. So that trend will continue again. Okay, now to put some of this in context, the experience, 80% of customers say the experience a company provides is as important as its products and services. So think about that. You may be a web developer, a nonprofit, a insurance salesman, or whatever it is, daycare provider. You may do all this stuff and you may do it really well, but a big part of customer satisfaction is the whole experience that customers have with you. And if that experience is good, then the overall impression of your company and your products and services is good. So you can think about it like this. If you call a tree company or a landscaper or a paving company to redo your driveway, and they do great work, you've seen their name around your neighborhood and you've seen their work and everything and all that, but if they don't call you back, you get pretty frustrated. And you might say, wow, that's a lousy company. Well, again, there's proof that, you know, the experience, the whole experience that a company provides is as important as the actual products and services. So again, we want to think about how that ties back into marketing automation and our ability to communicate directly to the right people with the right message. Okay, so that's enough for the statistics and stuff this morning, but I think this stuff is important to understand where we are in the world today and how to make you successful, and not just now, but in the next 5 and 10 years to grow your business or grow your nonprofit to reach your goals. So what we're going to talk about today is boosting your results with targeted emails, how automation and how to do more business with that, or how to use automation, and then some specific ways about providing value to specific types of people. Everyone is different, and so we need to understand that our customers are different people. There are different people that make up all of our customers. So some are, there's older and younger. There's race. There's male and female. There's demographic in terms of level of income or education or preferences, things like that. And we need to understand that. And the more we can specify our messages, our marketing, our appeal to people, the more successful we're going to be. Okay, so that's really important to understand. So just a couple of quick sort of examples or scenarios for you to look at is, so this would be like a B2B example for a consultant, and this in this example, kind of a marketing consultant. But how can they potentially use segmentation? So they can, with their prospects, they might have different types of prospects. Again, for their, maybe they provide different services, so some of their services are more relevant to some clients than others, or their types of prospects might vary greatly, for-profit, nonprofit, or what have you. They can segment their newsletter to go to different people, to have different types of newsletters, have different types of content, and that content can be based on where they are in the sales process, or things like that. Again, it might be different types of services. So, they might be talking about web design for some clients, but more social media for others, however that is. One way to do this and to kind of get started with segmentation is to think about what's called click segmentation. So in email, or in on your website, or even in social media, people will click on things to learn more or go to a specific page or things like that. And then you can segment your audience through that. So for example, in this email, you see there's one article about redesigning your websites and another about social media down below. So the people that click to read more on the website, they're more interested in their website. The people that click on the social media are more interested in their social media. And so then you can now, in Constant Contact, for this example, you can see, okay, well, I'm going to send some follow-up email to the people that clicked on the website topic, the article, and something focusing on websites, right? Because we know they have an interest in that. Same thing with social media. For the people that click on that, you can automatically create an email list and send more social media information to them. Now, that doesn't mean you have to remove those people from your whole email list, for example, but now you can start to break things down into, website versus social media, or what have you. So again, the more you speak directly to the interests of your audience, the more successful you're going to be. And so click segmentation is a very good way to do that. Okay, so here's how you do it. You say, okay, well, this is the link. When they click on that, I want them to go into a separate email list. Very, very simple to do. So let's look at more of a B2C type example, or for a bakery. So how can you segment those potential customers? Well, it could be by location that they're shopping in. If you have 2 locations, perhaps, you can say, well, I want to send my one customer, that came into this store, something about that area maybe, or that, that region. So, and then location 2, you've got separate. So again, just one way to do it. These are just ideas. The art of marketing is for you to create the right segmentation, or good segmentation, so that you're able to use that when you communicate with your customers. So then perhaps by weekly specials, you might send weekly specials to people, or perhaps you have some commercial accounts that you serve, and so maybe you send separate things to your commercial accounts versus your walk-in regular customers. Real quick, I'll tell you, well, let's go to one more, and I'm going to tell you an interesting story here in a second. So here's a way to, again, segment your lists by very specific activity, and then put these people into a specific list. So there's some very specific criteria here, and if they fit into this and that, then they go into this particular list. So again, it's this type of segmentation, and the tools now are built into Constant Contact, and so you can see how this works and use this easily in your own marketing. So we'll talk real quickly here about nonprofits. So perhaps you're a nonprofit, maybe horse riding therapy is your area of work here. So here you can focus on current donors versus past donors, different giving levels. So you might have the some message going out to small donors versus the ones that give big annual gifts. Different types of people, whether they're riders or volunteers or things like that. So again, just these are really meant to just show some ideas to get you started thinking about how would you segment your particular list for your organization. So, but before I get to this slide, I do just want to tell you this one quick story. I have a friend who lives or lived out in Silicon Valley, and she was a very, very good graphic designer, and she created an email list of one. She had one big company that she did a lot of work for, and she wanted to get some more of a specific type of project from this one company. So she created a whole newsletter just for that one specific person. But when you get an email newsletter, you don't, as the recipient, you don't know how many people that person or that company is sending it to, right? So that one particular company that she sent this email newsletter with a target of one, it looked like, oh wow, this is exactly what things that we were just talking about and things that we need to do and that she does, and what a coincidence. And she ended up getting more business from them. And she did that over and over and over again. And it just goes to show that your list can be quite targeted, even down to an email list of one, and that's effective, depending on how big your potential customer relationship is over the lifetime of that customer. Getting one new customer might be, do enormous things for your business. So anyway, I always am fascinated by that story and the success that she achieved through an email list of one. So anyway, let's go back to segmentation here. Just so you know, for nonprofits, Constant Contact works with a lot of donor software. So again, it can help you manage your customized lists and list segmentation, even if you are working with a donor management system like one of these. So that was simply the message there. But same thing with e-commerce. If you sell products online and have a store online, Constant Contact works with all of the big e-commerce platforms, Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, and others. And so you can take your lists from these places, from these shops, and now send even automated emails to people that fall into a certain list. So people that bought a certain product, you can send an email that says, thank you for buying this. By the way, here are a couple of nice complementary products. If you bought this, you may be interested in these couple of products. So again, that type of automation and segmentation is something that we all should be focusing on very intently right at this point in time. So, so is this you right now going, oh, how do I do this? This is going to be a lot of work. Well, it's not really. So let's take an example here of a bike shop, okay? And so now you can send an email to all of them, right? The one on the left, and then use dynamic content in the that is a a free tool in Constant Contact to add specific content into your regular email, but just for certain customers. So you send the one on the left, and that goes out to everyone. But then you have customers with kids. So now for the customers with kids, you add a special piece of information in there. Or in addition, you could also say, okay, well, you're going to send that same email, but customers with a recent purchase, I want to send some more specific information, and that will go into just the emails that are the contacts that are tagged as making a recent purchase. So there you have one email going out, but it's giving content to different people based on your knowledge and experience with these people. Okay, and we do that through dynamic content. So this is what that looks like. You've got a block that you can add, and it goes only under certain situations. Okay, so very easy to use, but very powerful. And again, this will get people reading and saying, oh, they know I have kids, or oh, they know I was just there. So you're saving time, but you are reaching out with content that is relevant to specific types of people. And that is tremendously powerful, and that's how you maintain people's attention. Okay.
Erik, we have a quick question for you.
Sure.
Can you also change the subject lines based on your segmentation?
Good question. I don't believe you can at this point, because that's not an automatic field that can be added in or not. That, I believe, right now is just you can only have the one subject line.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, good, very good question though, because we do know that subject lines are very, very important. So as we mentioned, automation is becoming standard, right? This is something that we are working much more with our clients, because again, it helps you speak more directly to your specific customer types, and it will save you time. So that's what we want to do, is to help you save time and improve your communications and response to your customers. So that's what we're trying to do with automation. We're not trying to do anything other than that. So we can see on the left here, business to consumer marketers see conversion rates as high as 50% with automation. We have there are a lot of statistics that show that automated emails actually have a much higher open and engagement rate, because they're tied to a context, and the context will gets people to open them because there's relevance to that. So subscribers who receive a welcome email show 33% more long-term brand engagement. Again, this is, if somebody just, joins an email list or makes a purchase online or comes to an event or something like that, and they're added to some list and they get an automatic, quick welcome message, that goes a long way for them. That their experience with you is much better because you responded quickly with a welcome message, said, thank you very much, and that kind of thing, gave them some information. They saw that, and that gives much more long-term brand engagement. And then nurtured leads make 47% larger purchases. And that statistic makes sense because we know that people that are more familiar with your organization, again, whether it's a for-profit or a nonprofit organization, when they are more familiar with your organization, they tend to make more repeat purchases, they tend to make larger purchases, and that's what one of the benefits of sending automated emails is, that you're keeping in touch with these people. And so I know it sounds kind of funny because perhaps you say, well, I know that's an automated message. Well, yeah, but if it gives good information, then even though it's an automated message, if it comes at the right time and you're getting the right information and it's helpful and useful information, then it helps you. It's that simple. So that is just like saying, well, I called the bank and I had to talk to an automated an AI voice, and I didn't like that. Well, but if you talk to the AI voice and you ended up getting what you wanted to get done, then your experience was pretty good, right? You may not have really enjoyed the conversation, but at least you got done what you wanted to get done. And that's the point, is the automation. Even though we know it's automation, it's still giving us useful information and helping us do what we want to do. Okay, so what another simple type of automated emails are like birthday or anniversary type emails, and again, very simple. The birthday email obviously is a little more focused for business to consumer type organizations, but with the anniversary emails, you can be pretty creative. Like the example here is for the renew your membership today. You've been with us for a year or whatever. Renew your membership. This can be used in a lot of different situations, and again, it sort of shows that, well, you know something about me because, oh, it's that time to renew, or that I've been with you for a year, or whatever it is. So those are pretty helpful. Again, if you give them some value out of it, right, a coupon, a free item, etc., that works well. For anniversaries, again, the same thing, to kind of help them along. So automated series of emails, again, very useful. The open rate and click rate on automated series is tremendously high. I don't have the number in front of me. I know we wrote a blog post about this, but it's the open rates for automated emails are actually very high because, again, they're typically tied to an event. So somebody becoming a customer, somebody coming to meet you, a potential customer, or somebody who just made a purchase, whatever it is. But these are tremendously useful tools, and again, they save you time because you create them once, and then they are used many times. Okay, so again, when you think of automated emails, you're sort of using or you can use some specific techniques to help them get more to get more response out of these. So these are a couple of good examples for this bike shop. Okay. Depending on, this would be like an example for a consulting company of some type, or, an insurance salesperson or CPA firm, or, consulting firm, whatever it is, you could send them a little onboarding series, right? So this is a good thing to do. Okay. Again, there's sort of the tips to get people excited about things, right? So there's this type of series. So moving from that, what do you think the best way to boost your open rate would be? Well, one way to do that is to resend your emails to people that don't open it. Now, think about this. So for how many emails do you get in a day? And if that number is quite high, or you're sending to people that are quite busy, right? Then people may not open your email, not because they're not interested, but because they're just too busy at the moment. So you can now send an email to just the people that did not open it the first time, and resend the email a few days later. And in this case, you can actually change the subject line of the new email that's coming to these people. So people might see your email, say, well, I'd love to respond to that, but I'm just running from appointment to appointment today, or I just have too many emails to get to it, and then it gets buried and they just never get to it. So they may not want to read your email, but it may just be a bad moment when they receive that email, and maybe a few days later might remind them, oh yeah, I really did want to see that. So resending to non-openers is something you can now easily do with really one click of a button. Okay, so a couple of new features to mention that is useful is that Constant Contact now has a feature for landing pages. And so you can you design these just like you do an email, but you get a custom URL or web address for that landing page. And then you can use that landing page for specific things. So you might be running a special of some sort, or a sale, or you have some new, if you're in professional services or something like that, you might have a new white paper or ebook or something like that that you want people to request. So landing pages are very good tools to use to create that demand. So people can sign up and say, yeah, I'm interested in getting that piece of information, or that coupon, or that deal, or whatever it is. And so now you can build these tools very easy, and have multiple of these, and then get people to fill out that form and get that deal, or get that download, or whatever it is. So very interesting new tool to be able to promote different things to your customers. And this is really important because, people are looking, they're using the internet to find information, or they're shopping and they want to find deals. So, by making special offers like this and using a landing page like this, this is how you sometimes can get some extra customers, and so it's really a good strategy to use, no matter what type of organization you are. Again, for profit, nonprofit, it all works, right? So so let's talk a little bit about, how do you provide some value to be able to then grow your business more? Okay, so in virtually any type of company or nonprofit, you can provide some value of some sort, and people will, and that will help your business. Okay, so you know, we know that obviously gaining a new customer can be much more time consuming and expensive than retaining an existing customer, right? So we need to make sure that every single customer that we have, we're engaging with them, we're offering them new things, we're reminding them, helping them in certain ways, just to continue to be of value. And we also know that a lot of buyers, 47% of buyers, review at least 3 to 5 pieces of content before even engaging with a sales rep. So there's some statistics that show, was it like 80% of sales are made after the 5th conversation, something like that. So we have to be able to provide value and good information to people, even if that is not just in selling our services. So again, there's many reasons for that, but so then also we know 84% of consumers are more likely to take action based on personal recommendations. So again, the more you keep your current customers happy, the more likely that they're going to talk about you when somebody asks or mentions that, who do you use for your lawn care, or for your insurance, or for your accounting, or that kind of thing. And or if people share stories about the nonprofit, their favorite nonprofits, or whatever. People take action because of personal recommendations. So we need to make sure that we keep people happy with what we're doing, provide great value and great service, and that will help us grow. Okay, so so again, if we can provide interesting content and tell stories and be helpful, provide useful tips, help people do things themselves even, and we do that in a way that is appealing and sort of sharing information rather than selling, this valuable content is going to help. And people are looking for, well, how, if whatever your organization is, well, how have you helped people just like me? And so if you can tell these stories about how you've helped different types of people and show them how you have helped them, then that's going to go a long way. And so that's what we should think about in our email marketing, our social media, on our website, all these kinds of things. because people may not be ready to buy right now, but if as you sort of walk them through that process and show how you've helped others like them, then when it does come time for them to buy, they will think of you, they'll remember you, they'll remember how to find you, and or they'll even mention you to somebody else that needs what you do, right? So that's some things to kind of think about in your marketing. You know, we often want to you know, get people to our event or get them to buy now or whatever it is. But if we can sort of shift that around, especially on the internet, and through our digital communications, that we shift that around a little bit and just try and be helpful and show people how we help others like them, and you know, have customer testimonials and things like that, that will go a long way. Okay, so a couple of examples here is hopefully you all have FAQ pages, frequently asked questions, because people can find that, and then, you know, you can walk them right through a lot of the questions that people ask you regularly. You know, your blog and your website should talk about all of this. You can have kind of an ask an expert type questions. You know, you can tell stories about your customers and how you've helped them with very specific things. These are all good content that, you know, if you look at those, they're interesting, useful information, but they're not salesy. You're not pitching sales with any of these things necessarily, right? So the stuff to get people involved. Okay. And so some other specific ways to share content is you can share content that other people have written or other organizations have produced. So, you know, news that's relevant in your industry or to your readers, you know, that can include infographics or things like that, you know, blog posts, even, you know, influencer content, you know, people that are very popular, well-known leaders in your industry. You know, you can share their information, and that's useful. You know, obviously, we're not portraying that information as something that we produced, and so we want to make sure we give credit to whoever actually produced that information. But, you know, sharing relevant news or that kind of thing is really helpful to your readers.
Eric, we have another question for you.
Great, thank you.
What is the best email content strategy for those with no testimonials or track record on how their offered services have benefited others?
Well, I think you can write examples of how you would go through the process of helping somebody. So, for example, if you're a college counselor, but you're just getting started, you can provide people useful information about the college application process. You can give them all sorts of resources. This is a great question, actually, because we often forget that that we know a lot more than our customers do about whatever it is we're providing. And that can be, you know, you could be a window washer or a gutter cleaner or you know, a landscaping company. You know, even if you're just getting started, you probably know more about whatever it is you're doing because you're interested in that than most of your customers. Maybe not all of them, but most of them. And so you can, so for example, landscaping, you're just getting into a landscaping business. You don't have any customers, you're just starting. You can write, 5 tips for preparing your lawn for the fall or for the winter or for the spring. Things about about fertilizing and watering your lawn, and so rather than having customer testimonials, you can just use more the how-to, the expertise, and frankly, those are as good or better than, well, they're as good, they're equally powerful as customer testimonials. And so hopefully that gives you some good information about that. So a couple of good best practices here is whether it's email, social media, your website, you want to make things visually compelling. And so, really good images, clear, colorful, images that tell a little story. Use video. There's a couple of different ways you can use video. You can have a real nice professionally produced video, sure, but you could also use video right from your cell phone. And if you've ever used iMovie, it's free from Apple, and it's tremendously easy to edit your video, even the videos off your cell phone. So iMovie is terrific. So you can have some short videos of either how-to or of customers or of you explaining something. But video is very powerful. Share data and statistics and facts and that kind of thing, because again, then people are drawn to data so that they can understand what the facts are. And then make it easy to share. If you provide good information, people that really like you or like your service, like your company, that kind of thing, or find value in that information, are going to want to share it. So take advantage of that, and use social media. So so let's kind of a little recap here. Email is still very important, but the more targeted we can get with that email, the better. And the more automation we can build into our processes, the better. So think about how you might use those things. And if you don't know, you can ask us. We'd be happy to help. Automation saves time. It saves your time. So yes, it saves your customers time and helps them get to everything, and that's great. But we want to save your time, the business owner. We know you're really busy, and these are strategies to help you more effectively spend the time that you have to send targeted emails that are going to have value, to get to people that read them and use them and respond to them. That these automation strategies help you save time and provide better customer service to your customers, right? And then we want to provide value in whatever we do. We want to provide value to create fans who are going to spread the word about us. So if we're talking a lot about what we do and how we do things and get very specific, then people are going to recognize that, and they're going to share that with others who have a similar interest, right? So there's really ways to leverage the internet and social media to spread the word about what you do and who you are and who you help and how you do things. And that's exactly what people are looking for. That's what um, they're on the internet for, is to, help to make things happen. So those are some important things. So I hope, my message today, I think, is, if I could boil it down, is, some of these things are pretty new, where we talk about email marketing, or email segmentation, or automation strategies. But we want to make sure that you understand these, and these trends aren't going away. This automation is going to become more and more prevalent, and you take advantage of these to provide better service to your customers, whether you're a for-profit or nonprofit, and you will benefit. So you're going to save time, you're going to get more done, but you're going to actually be providing more benefit throughout this process, and that'll come back to you. So that's probably my main message to you today. And um, it's a new topic, it's a powerful topic, but it's gonna help you. Okay. So that's it. So I hope you got some value out of this, and this was useful to you. If you have any questions, I'm happy to address them now, or if you want to contact me later, I'm happy to speak with you. I'm based in the Albany area, um, and happy to meet or talk with any of you, and help you improve what you're doing and answer any questions. So with that,
Erik, we do have a few questions that I'd like to throw your way.
great. Thank you.
Can you talk about the cost of constant contact, especially for small businesses? They're limited on their budget. And also within that same question, any tutorials to get started?
Yeah, that's so one thing about constant contact that I think is great, and that part of the reason I'm involved and continue, I've been a partner, one of their top partners for over a decade, is because they believe in customer service. So they have people like me speaking to you right now. They have fantastic tutorial videos that explain virtually all of the features and tools and things like that, how you do basically anything that you can simply Google. So, adding an email contact to constant contact, or, whatever it is, and you'll find a short minute-long video that talks about that, and shows you how to do it. So that's one of the things about constant contact that I like a lot. And so there's a lot of educational value there, including me using these slides and talking to you today. The cost is, it's not free, because there's cost involved in the customer service. So it starts at about $20 a month for up to 500 email contacts. And then there are several discounts from there. So if you want to, and I have actually access to contact discounts that you can't get if you even went directly to constant contact. But it's based on the number of contacts you have in your account, and then you can send as many emails as you want during the month. So up to 500 contacts, it starts at, the base is $20 plus tax, but I can get you down to close to 15. And then if you go up to 2,500 contacts, I think is the next level, and then you're at $40 a month, and then it goes up from there. Um, but it's a small cost in terms of the amount of communication that you get from reaching more people on a regular basis, and that's what you need to think of. Is in our minds, in most people's minds, website, social media, and email are indispensable tools of your marketing toolkit, and including videos, so YouTube. So those 5 tools, or 4 tools, I guess. So website, social, email, and video. It's 4 tools are really, every organization should have that.
All right, we have a couple more coming in. Can you have multiple users from a small business running the account?
Yeah, absolutely. You can have as many people using a constant contact account as you want. You can um, verify a big number of email addresses at your organization, so that emails could come from, the CEO or the owner, could come from the, marketing person, it could come from the salesperson, it could come from whoever. So you can have emails going out from a large number of people as well. So there's a lot of flexibility there.
And another one, what is your opinion on Insightly?
What is Insightly?
Well, I will write that back, but we can answer another one in the time. Do you know any firms that provide pro bono work to nonprofits? I think they're looking for website and email work.
Um, I don't know of any that provide pro bono work. You can always get an intern at, if you're near a college, and get an intern who wants to get into the digital marketing world, and have them come in and do this. And they're studying this, as we speak. And there's lots of young folks that want to get into this business. And so I would think that that's probably the best idea. And then
Great.
that's a great way too, because you're giving people an opportunity to learn and do and build their own resume. So an intern would be a really good way to do
Very good. And a follow-up on the Insightly question. It's an email CRM system, but the user said, no worries if you're not familiar with it.
it. Okay.
But if you're not familiar with it, maybe you could talk about email CRM systems.
Well, there are a CRM is also an indispensable part of the operations of any company, because it helps everybody be on the same page in terms of what's happening with every customer. And so there's a couple of, depending on what size you are, for the bigger organizations, HubSpot and Salesforce are sort of the blue ribbon companies. For smaller organizations, there's Infusionsoft or Keep, which is a terrific product for smaller businesses. And that has that's honestly, that's somebody that we work with as well, as Keep. They have a very sophisticated CRM system, as well as all of the email and digital components that you would need for your organization as well. So that might be something to look into. And there are a number of cheaper free versions, and all the way down to the Excel spreadsheet type CRM system, which a lot of very small companies use.
All right, and we have another one. What do you recommend for startups who do not yet have a customer email list and want to send out an introductory email in their industry, keeping in mind new data privacy rules?
Well, that's a great question, and I would recommend first that you don't ever buy any list. It's pretty much worthless, because you think about your own email inbox, whether it's at work or your personal email inbox. If you start getting emails from people you don't know, you're gonna hit unsubscribe, and that just isn't gonna work, right? So email is not something that is a good, um, cold tool, right? Um, and so if you don't have any contacts or customers and you're just getting started, you certainly have friends and uh, you know friends and contacts and partners and people like that, um, that you can include in your first round of emails. Um, but you again, email is really only a one leg of the set of tools that you need, right? You need a website, you need social media, you need email. And none of those tools individually is going to do everything for you in terms of building and growing your business. But um, all of those tools working together will help a lot. And to get your message out there, to remind people you're still in business, to explain what you do. And even if you have a list of a very small list, and we're talking, 50 emails or something like that, or, then there's still value in sending email to that small list, because those people, it's, people are kind of funny, once they see something in writing on their computer, then they say, okay, that's real. So if you're just starting a landscaping business or an insurance agency or something like that, people won't necessarily take you seriously until they see something in writing. So by you sending an email to them and posting things on social media and having a really nice professional website, then they'll say, wow, well, they're really in business. And that it takes time, and starting a business from scratch is very difficult. It takes a lot of time and hard work and talent, but it's got to start somewhere. And everybody that's started a business started from scratch. So that's the way to do it.
Eric, in terms of collecting those emails, is there a method that you've seen that's been more successful than others in terms of maybe having a pop-up on your website or doing a free webinar or going to an industry trade show and doing a giveaway? Is there something that kind of outranks the others in terms of that email collection?
Well, probably it's the real world um, interaction. And it depends who you're selling to, right? I think for B2C type businesses, then, you know, doing things, having a social media presence and a great website and telling stories and engaging people in, emotionally, um, that will work. But for B2B businesses, where your clients are other businesses or nonprofits, even, then you really have to get out and meet those people. And so go to industry events or trade shows, or you know call and get introduced to the type of person that you want to meet and do business with. And so it's really the meeting first, and then you have their card and then you start email marketing to them, that way will work far better than um, because a lot of businesses because you have to sell. I came from the insurance business, and one of the oldest saying in the insurance business is insurance is sold, not bought. And that means that people don't for fun go shopping for insurance. It's dull, it's expensive, it's confusing, it's complicated. But so you have to go out and meet with people and talk to them about this, and that's the same with many things. And so it's hard to in some businesses it's hard to get people to to um, to listen to you.
We have another one for you. Does Constant Contact have a service where they can help organizations set up their email marketing operation on the Constant Contact platform?
Yes, that's what I do. So I would be happy to show anybody a demo or help them set up their Constant Contact, or we even do the marketing for companies like that. So however you want to get started or improve what you're doing, that's what we do.
In our follow-up email with the recording, we'll also include Erik's contact information so you can view that there. For you, Erik, what are some of the metrics you use to gauge your email marketing success?
There really, it's click rate is the most important thing. And so open rate is pretty important, meaning how many people actually open your email. But that is that metric underestimates or understates how many people view your email. Because if you're working in Outlook or even Gmail, you can see an email without actually clicking to open it. So more people see your email than it looks like that see this, right? Because they can preview it. So the click rate, so people that click on any link in your email, that's the most important metric to measure, again, because it tells you so much. And if you can, your main goal with email or social media, well, less so with social media. Your main goal with email is to get people back to your website. So using links and getting people to specific pages on your website, whether it's to learn more about you or read some customer testimonials or see exactly what type of products and services you offer, or to contact you, or whatever it is, you want to use links strategically in your email that get people back to your website, because then you're setting a path to get people to your website to learn what they want to learn, and then help them answer the questions they want to ask, and help them achieve what they're trying to achieve. Like I need to buy auto insurance. Okay, well, in my email, I want to give several links to get people not just to buy, but to learn who do we serve and why should I use you as an agent, and that kind of thing. So they want to find a bunch of, learn more, and then give them that opportunity by strategically using links in your email. And then, just so you know, when you put any link in your email, then Constant Contact automatically measures and retains and shows you every single uh, click on that link. So you can literally see, it's kind of spooky in a way. You literally see every single person that clicked on a link and at what day and what time they clicked on it. So you can literally send an email out and go, hey Jane, I saw you clicked on this link at 9:32 yesterday morning. Can I help you? You wouldn't want to do that because that's creepy, but that is the type of information, and frankly, why you want to use a digital platform like this for your email rather than something like Outlook or Gmail, because you can't measure those things in Outlook or Gmail, so you don't have that information, which is critical, which is the only thing that you can use to know how well you're doing and to see the response and what your audience is interested in.
I have one more question for you, unless we have others come in. You talked a little bit about the importance of subject lines. Can you talk a little bit about some tips on creating a good one?
Yeah, so if you think about psychology, there's a couple of big overriding subjects, or I'm not sure. I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know the terms. But so things like recency or scarcity, right, are strategies to get people to click on things. So if you see a subject line or even a call to action like a link or a button on a website or in social media that says, you know, buy now, the sale ends tomorrow, or we're only offering 10 of these packages to customers in this special spring sale, get yours now. That sort of urgency and scarcity is something that people. There's even an acronym now. It's called FOMO, right? We've heard of that, fear of missing out. So you want to try and take advantage of that, but be transparent about it. So what your subject line teases, your email should be aligned with. So don't tease them about one thing, get them to open the email, and then you're not talking about that at all. That's disingenuous, and you want to be transparent with people, so they trust you. So but using things like that, or use something that's sort of interesting and educational, so and informative. So perhaps again, go back to like the example of the landscaping business. Your subject line might be, six ways to ensure a green lawn this summer, right? And so, then if you open the email, then obviously the first thing in there should be an article that says, here are the 6 tips to a great green lawn, right? So if you can figure out things like that, and again, that can lead you to market segmentation, then that you will be tremendously successful using that kind of strategy. And just one last thing is those kinds of short lists. So 3 ways to do this, top 5 ways to do this, top 7 things for this. Those kinds of lists are really effective because people will right away in their mind, when they see that number, they go, oh, I can read through 3 things, right? I can read through 5 things. So right then, the specificity of that kind of list is really effective. So I will give you that tip, and so definitely use that kind of thing, and customize that to your business, your organization, and that those kinds of lists really help people understand. You know, they give them some information. You demonstrate your knowledge and expertise and experience with that, and they learn something. So it's a win-win. And once they learn that, they go, oh wow, this organization really knows what they're talking about. I need their help, and then you're off and running.
Great. Well, thank you, Eric, very much for putting on this webinar. Again, Eric's contact information is on this slide. And if you need any help with business advising or have any questions on our free and low cost business training, please don't hesitate to follow up with us at the NYSBDC. Our website is nysbdc.org.